Chief Meteorologist Chase Jones.
Well, you're getting a good view of the evaporative levels as we made our way into this evening, and some of that high cloud cover making its way in from the west, and I'm on the lookout to see if it makes its way into the Concho Valley for some overnight thunderstorm activity before we make our way right back up into those triple digits. Can you guys believe this is where we're supposed to be? This is average this time of the year. Usually it's around 120. Thank goodness it's cooler, but we are on the lookout for some of those cooler temperatures by the weekend. Now, dropping all the way from those mid 70s all the way up into those upper 90s, and we're dropping down pretty quickly. We're cooling off pretty fast right now, down about 12 degrees, and we're going to drop about 13 more before we level out in those 70s. But again, on the lookout for a slick start tomorrow morning. 86 in San Angelo, everybody else in a combination of those mid to upper 80s across the entire area. Let's see how much we've cooled off. 91 in Robert Lee, down about 10 degrees. 84 down there in Junction. 7 degrees across the entire Concho Valley, unless you want to count Mason there to Robert Lee. So just inside the 10-degree spread. Dew points are still down there in those 50s and those 60s, while humidity indices have risen about 20% across the entire area. So we're on the lookout for a little bit of light rain shower activity as we make our way into the last Friday of July. Now, Moisture Tracker is going to show you how we just keep talking about the concentration of orange around the Gulf Coast and whether or not it's going to make its way into the Concho Valley. Every single time we see moisture make its way up from the south, it really becomes a timing issue with cold fronts making their way in. But we talk about air displacement, and that usually means that once those winds from the south start to pick up, a stronger system is on its way down from the northwest. And when we take a good look at the upper level pattern, we're starting to see more and more of these strong systems make their way through. That includes this weekend, and that could keep a lot of that moisture mostly off towards the eastern side of Texas. But we are on the lookout for stronger low pressure systems to start making their way in, again, with days getting shorter every single day. Now, water vapor imagery really just shows us the convection going across the entire Concho Valley and whether or not it lines up with the upper level pattern. Right now, we're watching it just stay on the western side of us as it makes its way up the panhandle, but we take a good look at severe weather outlook, and it is following the check mark as it makes its way down into the panhandle, then pushes up near the Great Lakes. It's really just been targeting the northern part of the nation for the last couple weeks. When we take you down to the surface, we're keeping our eye again on some of these red flag alerts going strong near Oregon and parts of Northern California. Really just been seeing steady rain shower activity along the Rocky Mountain Front Range for about the last week, and then we take you down to the Concho Valley because we're going to see if some of this moisture wants to make it into our area, but I don't think anybody's going to disagree if it decides not to show up. Now, radar is showing us pockets of rain just west of us, outside of the area around Midland. Futurecast is going to show you how it could potentially make its way in by the rest of the evening, but clear up by the morning. Then as Friday afternoon rolls around, we're going to keep our eye peeled out for any more convection that could slide its way in and ruin any more of those Friday night plans. So if you decide to stay inside, also good plans. But as the weekend starts to roll around and that moisture starts to push its way in from the southeast, we'll see whether or not it wants to show up. Now, by Saturday afternoon, it's going to start to show up on the west and the eastern side, but of course that's Stevens territory, so he'll get a closer look at it as it gets closer. So tonight, all the way back down into those lower 70s again. I'm on the lookout for a little bit of light rain. Then tomorrow, I'm on the lookout for rain in the morning and in the afternoon, but go ahead and make it a half-day Friday because it is the last one of July. As we get closer towards August with the last week of July, we're going to see those cooler temperatures for the weekend, a little bit more rain potentially, and then we're on the warm-up as we could get dangerously close back up into those triple digits while those overnight lows lock themselves in those lower 70s. Stay tuned. More bit break. You're watching KSAN News at 10.